What if one of the world's biggest podcasts unintentionally pulled back the curtain on one of Hollywood's most debated personalities? Joe Rogan has built his reputation by sitting across from controversial guests without hesitation. Over the years, he has interviewed everyone from conspiracy theorists to convicted criminals and outspoken public figures. Yet when the discussion shifted toward Ellen DeGeneres and the growing list of stories surrounding her public image, something about the conversation stood out. Rogan wasn't aggressively challenging the claims or steering the discussion in another direction. Instead, he mostly listened while his guests connected one story to another. That quiet reaction caught viewers' attention, and before long, countless people began revisiting old interviews and television moments with a completely different perspective.
You also think that she's one of those tooth and claw, get to the top. That's why she became Ellen in the first place, and that makes a lot of
Stories about Ellen's off-camera behavior had circulated in Hollywood long before they became mainstream headlines. Although millions of viewers knew her as the face of kindness on daytime television, industry rumors often painted a far less flattering picture. During the podcast, Rogan's guest referenced reports describing Ellen as difficult to work with, suggesting these conversations had existed behind the scenes for years. The discussion wasn't introducing a brand new rumor. It was highlighting claims that many in entertainment had allegedly heard long before they became public.
She's shook. She's shook right now.
Go to your roots. You're a comic. Stand by it, man.
Well, there's several other articles written about her being an
being mean?
That. Yeah, because people capitalize.
I've heard about it. I've heard it. It's, in entertainment, it's all around.
Rather than dismissing those accounts, Rogan acknowledged that similar stories had circulated throughout the industry for quite some time. Soon afterward, those rumors received renewed attention when former employees publicly described what they called a toxic workplace. Their allegations stood in sharp contrast to the positive image that had defined Ellen's television career for nearly 2 decades. As her show eventually came to an end, online discussions expanded beyond workplace allegations and began examining her connections within Hollywood's wider social circles. Some internet users pointed to overlaps involving public figures whose names had also surfaced in conversations surrounding Jeffrey Epstein. During one episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, guests even discussed visual similarities between parts of Ellen's former television set and architecture that some online commentators associated with Epstein-related properties.
Oh, well, you know where that is too, right? The similar image to that, right?
No.
I know Jamie does.
What is it?
It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
Just look at the temple and then look at the...
Let me see Ellen's background. What? Oh, similar. That looks like a building, though. Like
sure.
Yeah. Is that a building in L.A.? That might be a building in L.A. Right, but I mean, it's supposed to be a background of... Yeah.
That's strange.
None of these observations prove wrongdoing on their own, and no official investigation has concluded that such similarities establish any connection. Even so, supporters of these theories argue that when several unrelated events are viewed together, they naturally raise additional questions. Whether those connections are meaningful or simply coincidences remains the center of ongoing online debate.
Many grown men email each other about getting pizza, or about how tasty the pizza was, or about how many slices you can slice a pizza up into, or how many people will be at the pizza party. Then there's another email. It stuck out to me because it has the word Red Hook in it. Someone was emailing asking if another guy can go to Red Hook for a pizza meal later. It turns out that Red Hook is the address of where Jeffrey Epstein's Virgin Islands businesses are domiciled. It's on the marina where you would leave in the boat to get to his island. And someone was emailing asking if another man can go to where Jeffrey Epstein's business is domiciled for a pizza meal. They're using food language in ways that does not square with how food actually gets.
One topic that repeatedly resurfaced involved unusual wording found in publicly discussed Epstein-related emails. Internet communities spent years debating whether certain food-related terms were ordinary language or possible coded expressions. While none of those interpretations have ever been officially confirmed, the speculation continued to spread and fueled even more curiosity.
If it is in code, like walking over beef jerky, like talking about jerky, could you walk beef jerky over to this person? Like, what does that mean?
For all this pizza they're talking about,
Right.
You never see any pizza.
Right. Well, I think with the Epstein files, people are, because of these emails that have been released, people are just now starting to be aware of the bizarreness of the code. It's glaringly obvious when they say pizza and when they say jerky. That's glaringly obvious. How do you walk jerky?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And why do I need a chilled container to,
Right.
a chilled bag or whatever they say?
Jesus Christ.
And
So you think they're eating movies?
Oh yeah, I absolutely believe it.
You should get together with Kurt Metzger. The two would go crazy.
I don't doubt it for a second.
Obviously, beef jerky's dried out, so you don't need to refrigerate it. So putting it in the freezer would be kind of contradicting to making jerky to begin with, since it's supposed to be something that was made for people to have on the go and they wouldn't have to refrigerate like cowboys back in the day. And 6 bags of it, and he's gonna start eating regular food? Jerky is a regular food. Francis has come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky class, anyone? He will also bring you a taste of his new jerky recipe for the restaurant and send a warm hello. He is working at a restaurant called, I'm gonna say Hannibal, a word that rhymes with Hannibal, you know, like Hannibal Lecter, and cooks. Wait for it, beef jerky and steak. He has time at 3 p.m. tomorrow if that's okay with you. It is very sus that there's a restaurant named after the activity I really think they're doing. And after a little bit of investigating, there is a restaurant in New York called that, and it's closed. It's shut down. Jeffrey asked that you make some beef jerky for him, please. Please confirm. Thank you. Like, these are like filthy rich people. Can't they just order some? It just seems to be a lot of conversations about these acquisitions of jerky. There is 1 bag of beef jerky in the fridge at 71st Street, which is probably someplace in New York. Please get it. And also, Redacted has more at her place. Please get it all from her as well and bring it all with you. I suppose it needs to be in a cold insulated bag, right? Thank you. Now we all know jerky does not need to be in a cold insulated bag. No one asks that question when talking about jerky.
Those conversations eventually caused many viewers to revisit one of Ellen's most memorable television moments, the 2014 Academy Awards. During Hollywood's biggest night, she surprised the audience by ordering pizza instead of serving an elaborate meal. At the time, it appeared to be a lighthearted comedy bit. Years later, however, some online commentators looked back at that moment differently because of later internet theories involving references to pizza. Ellen's playful interaction with Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey during that segment also drew renewed attention after both men later became the subjects of major public scandals.
So I borrowed Pharrell's hat, and I thought I'd pass it around and get some money for the pizza, because nobody ever really, what do you have, Harvey? 200? 200. That's a start. That's a start. Let's see, what do you have, John? Would you have 20? Kevin?
That's for you.
Thanks so much. Your stock just went up. You got some money now with pizza. I'll take that. What is that? Lip balm. Lupita's lip balm. That's worth something. 20? You were in 2 pictures. Should we tell? 20. Thank you very much. What else you got? All right, that's good. Thank you. No, we're fine. We're good.
As social media continued revisiting older clips, attention shifted inside Ellen's own home. Viewers analyzing footage from virtual house tours focused less on the luxurious interiors and more on artwork displayed throughout the property. Certain online users claimed some pieces contained symbols they interpreted as unusual or ritualistic, although those interpretations remain entirely speculative and have never been verified.
I don't know if you saw the Ellen live. Ellen went live, right?
Ellen live on what? Like Instagram?
Like Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And like it showed parts of her house, right? And I don't know why, but Ellen's eyes have been like really fucking me up so far, but it's like different colored lenses. It's really creepy. But all the paintings that are in her house are done by this guy who does like I guess like certain rituals, like satanic rituals.
Yeah.
And you can see like in one of the paintings, there's triangles and shit like that, right? And I read up more about it. Those triangles are the same triangles that they do when they try to like summon something. So every time, Ellen has like 3 pictures specifically.
Yeah.
And one, it was so, but in quotation marks, it spells out revenge.
Revenge of what, though?
Revenge. I don't know, but that was part of the picture. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, I have a chain that's exactly like that. That spells out revenge. I was like, oh, my God, I gotta throw that shit away.
Another clip spread rapidly across social media after viewers revisited one of Ellen's jokes about performing surgery on her dining room table. While many considered it obvious comedy, others interpreted the remark differently once it was viewed alongside unrelated internet theories. The joke itself became another example of how old television moments can take on completely different meanings years later depending on the context in which audiences revisit them.
If there's any kind of, not major surgery, but we'll do surgery on this table. I guess the biggest thing we've done really is
This is why Rogan's response became such a talking point. He has spent years interviewing people connected to some of the internet's most controversial stories, so viewers often pay close attention to what surprises him. When discussing Ellen, he described certain moments as creepy, particularly recalling an unusual interview format that many viewers later revisited for themselves.
Right, she was buddies with Bush. That
Yeah,
was like
she's
one of the
a
first
CIA agent. Stephen Paddock. And do not ask me for sources. But Stephen Paddock.
Who's that?
He was the guy that shot up the Vegas concert. That was a very tragic thing. Listen to this. The only guy that saw Stephen Paddock alive, his name is Jesus Campos. He was a guard at Mandalay Bay. He got interviewed nowhere else. You know where he got interviewed in the beginning? Ellen.
Really?
Weird. And then they went on, if you could find that clip, they went on with a weird like diagram of how it happened, and Ellen's like showing the people how it happened. Not like an emotional like how are you feeling, how are you holding up. It was a weird diagram of like, and then he went to the left and to the right. It was very strange to look. What the hell's going on? This is a daytime show.
Which is the Paddock guy? And there's two guys there?
The chubbier guy is the Jesus guy. And now Ellen is doing a thing of how the shooting happened.
Look how she's got like an antenna from someone's Buick that she's popped off and she's using it as a pointer.
But why the hell is this happening on like a daytime show where this is weird?
Where'd she get that pointer?
I don't know. She stole it off an intern's car.
Why wouldn't you just use your finger? Like if that was you, if it was your show, the Tim Dillon show, wouldn't you just point?
Yeah, this is also a giant screen behind her, so they could have just put it on that screen.
So, but she's using this thing. I find it very strange. I don't know why.
Wait a minute, those aren't real palm trees?
No.
Yeah, it's not real. I know that street, though. I know that block in Beverly Hills that she used.
How weird is that?
I don't know why they're doing this on a daytime talk show.
Let's keep it running. Look at it. She's dressed like Colonel Sanders. Not Colonel Sanders. She's dressed like Sergeant Pepper.
This guy looks like a member of her staff.
What kind of outfit is she wearing?
I don't know. She wears those weird, like, militant, lesbian
that should tell you
uniform.
Something.
Yeah.
Like, that's an odd look with all those buttons. Like, why do you have so many wrist buttons?
It was given to her in Langley.
The only reason why you have that many wrist buttons if you're looking to clothesline somebody.
Yeah, look at her. Look at her. Everyone says she looks so friendly. She looks friendly.
Yeah, she does look very.
As these clips continued circulating online, additional accounts from former employees resurfaced as well. Some claim strict workplace rules created an intimidating atmosphere behind the scenes, including allegations that staff members were discouraged from making direct eye contact with Ellen while she walked through the studio. Those claims received widespread media attention during the controversy surrounding the show's workplace culture.
It was like, you know, it's a huge show. It was a really good opportunity to work there. But she was difficult. And I was like, what do you mean she was difficult? It's Ellen. Like she's trying to run a show and keep everyone's job, right? So I try to give people that grace. And he was like, no, Dax, you don't understand. We were told not to look her in the eyes. When Ellen is walking through the halls, you don't look at her. You don't make eye contact. You do not talk to her. This was all the time. After the show, she would be rushed out into her car and leave. We could not have any contact with her. And I was like, oh man, that's kind of shitty. You can never have any interaction with.
Another interview that continues generating discussion featured Dakota Johnson. What began as a playful exchange about a birthday invitation quickly became awkward after Dakota insisted Ellen had in fact been invited. When the show's producer appeared to confirm Dakota's version of events, viewers watched the conversation unfold in real time. Later, people connected that moment to Ellen's decision to attend a football game with former President George W. Bush instead of the party.
Tonight, we thought we'd address kindness, civility, and politics, which don't seem to be mentioned in the same sentence much these days. It took a greeting on the gridiron between former President George W. Bush and Ellen DeGeneres to bring it into sharp focus.
It may not seem like a big deal for a celebrity to attend a football game, but I never leave my house, so it is a big deal.
Ellen and her wife, Portia de Rossi, were invited to sit in the private box of Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Former President George W. Bush and his wife Laura were also there.
But during the game, they showed a shot of George and me laughing together, and so People were upset. They thought, why is a gay Hollywood liberal sitting next to a conservative Republican president? Didn't even notice I'm holding the brand new iPhone 11. And but a lot of people were mad, and they did what people do when they're mad. They tweet, and but here's one tweet that I loved. This person says, Ellen and George Bush together makes me have faith in America again.
But instead of getting into the fray on social media, Ellen used the moment to preach about civility.
Here's the thing. I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. We're all different, and I think that we've forgotten that that's okay that we're all different. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone. Doesn't matter.
Questions surrounding Ellen's public image were also fueled by comments from people who had once been close to her personally. Anne Heche, Ellen's former partner, later spoke publicly about difficult experiences in her own life and claimed she had faced years of rejection after speaking her truth. Among her allegations was the claim that Ellen had attempted to have her institutionalized, an accusation Ellen has not publicly acknowledged as fact.
Ellen. And in fact, I haven't said that yet. I have not rambled on about her for one single moment. For 20 years, I have withheld my understanding. I have been canceled since the day I was born. I've been buried since the day I was born. Every single truth that I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, or despised more, and then had calculated visions and circulations of systems that spun me up and out of the system that would in any way challenge the fact that she was not telling her own truth, but another's. Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I called my mother. Guess what? 2 people who wanted more than anything to have my truth buried. It was not my timing. I did not and could not ask God for what that would be. All I could do was stay on my truth, do what I was doing, and study this thing called love that we tried to bury. And now I am up and out of the ground. And unfortunately, those 2 women could not shut me down. Whew. Want to start over?
No, but let's talk about for a minute, because look, there's so much to unpack here with the Ellen thing, and I think that since we've started it, we might as well finish it.
Good, because then I think it's enough talk about her. Let's get on to some fun stuff.
Yes. But I do want to talk about how, look, basically what we're saying here is that she basically pitched herself as the queen of kindness, and we're finding that perhaps was not the case. And you're saying that in your experience with her, that was not the case. And in fact, that was kind of your jam. So kind of stole your look.
To say the least.
And
How
so,
does my
and
hair
so
look,
the
by the
irony
way?
of it is that you've always been saying the same thing. You are somebody who's
That's
always
one thing you can say about me.
saying the same thing. And when you say something that is not quite organic to you or truthful, you're gonna get popped. And where I see her having done this and just plain proof, people can tell us all the things they want to tell us, but I saw it completely when she did the 20th anniversary of her coming out episode. And she sat with Oprah and they did an entire documentary on it. And your name was not mentioned once. You were cut out of the story. You were actually literally cut out of the picture. They showed when you and Ellen went on Oprah's show and they had a tight shot on Ellen and you were sitting right next to her and you were cut out of it. And you were cut out of that part of the story. And you were such a big part of that story because when you took her to that movie premiere and you were basically blackballed from that moment on, that's a part of—
Anne also suggested that Ellen used her influence in ways that negatively affected her career opportunities, making it harder for her to find acting work and support her family. Those claims remain allegations, but they became another chapter in the broader conversation surrounding Ellen's legacy and relationships within Hollywood.
What we're finding out, every opportunity she got to block you from working to support your family took that from you as well. And shame on the people who went along with it too, I gotta say. Like, it's a really yucky thing that's coming to light right now. And I will say,
Wait. I love that you're laughing. You have to because
I'm like, I will say what? I will say,
what?
Like, let's fucking go.
Let's
like that's what I say in my son's baseball. We say like when you are like ready to rumble. And not that I'm ready to rumble. I don't want to rumble with Ellen or anybody.
I already did.
Well, fine. Okay, I'm ready for you to start getting the work that you deserve, and that's what I mean when I say let's fucking go. Like let's. Anne H is uncanceled, mother.
Uncanceled, mother. Listen, this is one thing that I have to say about you saying yuck. It really is yuck. And I just have to bring up a fact. Oprah looked at me when I was on the show that I was obviously sliced away from 50-50. I say, you know what? That's the amount of knowledge we've been given. We've been given 50% of our language of love. We've been given 50% of our language of the intellect. We've been given 50% of the language of our bodies. And the fact of the matter is the flip side needs to be understood. When I sat on that couch in such a divine entrance into standing up for what I believed, which was truth, motherfucker, my God, this woman is telling the truth. That's more interesting to me than any other thing I've been shown as love. I like that this person is standing up for what I believed was truth and the consequences. She suffered consequences because she did not believe that the truth would make her anything other than queen. Here's the deal. Unfortunately, life will greet you at a very unfortunate time, because when I was sitting next to you and Oprah looked at me and said, "What would you say, Anne, if people said to you, yuck?" You weren't sitting next to me, you were sitting next to Ellen. Ellen, yes.
She certainly wouldn't have said that to me.
Are you a shapeshifter? I am.
Well, you said sitting next to you.
I'm.
And she said basically she was insinuating
I was
that
asking
gay love was yuck.
What? The thing you want to say is like, well, what would anybody say? Hi, I am looking into the eyes of a woman who suffered greatly, very many things that I did, and I'm talking about Oprah, not you.
They did not replay that.
They didn't replay that little bit when I said I would say, what? Excuse me. And then she did a show on me the next day. Was it possible to be or have or love both genders? Was I so odd that I could love without gender? Is that even possible? As if I wasn't thrown in the inhuman category.
Years later, Anne Heche's tragic car crash brought renewed attention to many of her previous interviews. Reports surrounding the incident, combined with widely shared helicopter footage, sparked countless online discussions and speculation that extended far beyond the confirmed facts of the accident.
Trying to get into that building to get that driver out of that car. While all this was going on, they couldn't get to that car. They actually had to call in heavy rescue. That's what you see right there. They hooked up cables to that car, pulled it out. It's actually in that driveway. And then the driver, well, LA City Fire Department, their paramedics pulled that driver from that vehicle. We have tape of that, and then basically had him on a gurney. We weren't sure what the situation was there on his condition, but then as he made his way over to the ambulance, you see it right there, he jumps up out of that gurney. It was horrific, scary for a moment for everybody watching. And then the fire department, well, they had to sedate him and take him to the hospital. Right now, though, the structure is still standing. No other victims inside that home. But again, this happening out here in Palms this afternoon. Crazy thing to see for sure. But again, that no other injuries, and that driver now in the hospital.
The unanswered questions surrounding Anne's final days continue to fuel online debate, especially among those who revisit her comments about Ellen. While speculation remains widespread across social media, many of the claims discussed have never been officially verified. Even so, the combination of podcast conversations, resurfaced interviews, former employee allegations, and viral internet theories has ensured that public interest in Ellen's story shows little sign of fading. What do you think? Did Joe Rogan's conversation simply revisit long-standing public controversies, or are people reading too much into old clips? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.